Hello. Yo, yo, yo. Render 86. Render 86, you're in Bradenton? Dang. That's where I be from. Yeah. They just splash coffee in my face. Tiny little hole, man. It just still come out splashing. Come on, coffee. Why you betray me like that? Yeah, Render, did you ever come to any meetups? I did a couple there. Maybe I can do one again this year. I gotta find a good spot. Cafes I liked kind of shut down. Splashy coffee. Yeah, I think the last one. No, was it the last one or another one? I think it was the last one. We just ended up going to like the stupid Starbucks by the hospital, which sort of worked. There weren't a ton of us, but yeah, keeping an eye on family. My mom's going to a shelter. My brother's going to a family's place. Missed the Omaha meetups. Yeah, yeah, I had COVID, so that was not something that we should have done this year. That would have been bad. But yeah, would definitely look forward to doing an Omaha meetup again. KC87 resub, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was just showing Don just kind of like the area, showing him where my brother's place is and where my mom's place is, and the Skyway, and of course the Skyway history, the old disaster in 1980, where the bridge got taken out by a boat and a bunch of people drove off and died, which is sobering, but a part of my history. Um, just being that close to it, even though I was a wee baby when it happened. Um, it was something growing up. You saw like the taken out bridge while they were constructing the other bridge. Yeah. Curious how many of you will get sick at E3 next year. Yeah. Hopefully by then things will be a little bit better, and most people have boosters and all that kind of thing. Have strong storms ever misplaced wildlife like crocodiles in people's backyards? Well, there's not too many crocodiles in Florida, anyways. They're kind of isolated to a spot in the Everglades, way south, away from like where a lot of people live. Slowly processing, thanks. Just donut shop coffee here. Oh yeah, I splashed all over myself. That's fun. Uh, but yeah, gators. If there's a body of water, there's probably a gator in it. Snakes all over, all the time. Definitely had snakes in the house, in the bathroom from time to time, growing up. But yeah, good Florida stuff. It's been raining a lot, anyways, so like a lot of the ponds and stuff are already kind of full. So definitely looking out for flooding. Dapper Chocobo, thank you. Um, yeah, we had a pond in the backyard when I was a teenager. There were gators in there on the other side. Do the snakes hang out with the gators? Not necessarily, but I mean, they're not far off. Plenty of turtles too. Um, but yeah, Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concert. Yeah, that was cool. Got to attend that. Square Enix sent us tickets. Um, they asked they asked like a while back, and reserved them for us, and then unfortunately Damiani's cat wasn't feeling well, so he gave me his extra ticket, and I was able to bring my wife. Um, and then we had to find parking, which was fun because there was another giant thing going on at the Staples Center. I'm just going to call it the Staples Center. It's like Crypto.com Arena now, but it's the Staples Center, which is right next door. So it was like parking was a little crazy. We did manage to get in the main lot, but it was like one of those things where I was about to turn in to the like central LA Live lot, and then I looked and like they had it blocked off. So I'm like, okay, I'll circle around the block. I'll go to the other lot that's closer to the Microsoft Theater, And then as I'm coming back by it again after all the like pain of making, like left, 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 right, like, whatever to get back on the same road, they had opened it up before I got back to it. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just like missed it by 5 minutes, but we went to the other lot anyways, and it was fine. Um, do I remember breaking the news that a little known game was good on the Invisible Walls podcast? No, I don't remember that. But the concert itself, yeah, it was nice. It was. I went to one other Distant Worlds, which I think was like just the second tour way back when, um, and so it's like it's hard because like now I had the comparison point to when Uematsu was actually there and the Black Mages were still a thing, and they were there, and so it is that was something I'll never forget. So this one is not quite as hype as that, but it was still really good. And it was 35 years, so they did like two blocks. They had like a first block, and then they had an intermission, and then a second block. So the first block they went through 1 through 6, basically, and and they did like a medley at first, and then they went through like game by game, like in order, and each game had at least one, if not two or three songs. So it was nice because like Final Fantasy VI had kids run through the city corner, and they had the Phantom Forest and the Phantom Train. Yeah, Barrett and Eris voice actors were there, sitting right in front of me, and I didn't know who they were because they were sitting next to Max, and I saw Max talking to them, and I saw them taking photos, and I'm like, I should know who that is, probably, but I don't know who it is. And then it ended up being. I saw his tweet later and was like, oh, that's who that was. Got it. Um, but but yeah, and then in the Phantom Forest section when they have the video running, they had a shot of Sabin suplexing the train, and the crowd just erupted in cheers. One thing that was cool, they had, because to have like a rundown, like if you go to the site, they have a rundown of like the general playlist, track list, set list. Um, but not everything is on there, and they have other things that they throw in from time to time. And one of the things that was not on there is they did the Velt, the basically Gauss theme song, and that's not one I've heard a live version of before at all. I don't think. I don't remember that one coming up a lot. Like the Phantom Forest has been done a ton of times. I've got a CD from back in the '90s that's got an orchestral version of that, but I hadn't heard the Velt before, and it was really cool to see that live with the big drums up there and everything. Um, and then Final Fantasy IV, of course, a highlight for me because they had the Red Wings theme, and then they had the main overworld theme in there as well. Final Fantasy One, I remember they had Matoya's Cave in there, which was it was kind of funny because like that's one of those tracks where it's like there's not a lot to show here, so it's like they did like this whole quest line where they went and like not only showed Matoya's Cave, but also like did the thing where they fought the Dark Elf, but they had it on like I don't know, they had it on like some kind of crazy like Game Genie mode or something because they basically hit the Dark Elf once and it died, and then they went back to Machoya with the item that it gave them. But but yeah, so they did all of that, and then they had intermission, and then when they came back, they did 7 through 15, but they didn't do it in order. It was kind of unpredictable what they were going to do. I think like 15 might have been one of the earlier ones that they did, or 14 was one of the earlier ones too. So it was like bouncing all over the place. But yeah, there was 13 main theme was in there. There's a couple of things from 10. Oh, they had Steiki Dane with the original vocalist. She was there. Yoko Shimomura was there, and she was just like 30 feet away from us, because basically the way where we were sitting, kind of like midway back towards the front, it's sort of mid, um, in the seats, and so there's like a half a row of us. I think there were like 2 or 3 rows that were reserved for press, but there weren't a lot of us there. So it was like next to me there was a guy from RPG site, and then Janet Garcia, and then nobody else. And then on the other side of the RPG site guy, but there's just regular people that bought their tickets. And then there's like a row in front of us that was just empty, and then another row that was mostly empty, but then Max and the voice actors were there, and then the row in front of that was Square Enix North America, and then to the side across the aisle, Square Enix Japan was over there. And so when they were introducing guests and stuff, they would like put the spotlights down, and so Yoko would get up and bow and all of that. And then later on, she actually had worked her way out onto the stage. So it's cool for her to be there. It's cool for Ricky to be there. And then I want to say Final Fantasy X's main theme was one of the encores, and then of course One Wing Angel was an encore as well. Aerith's theme was in there. That was interesting because it's like they artfully dodged the actual death scene, but then they did still show like her dead and her being like, you know, let out into the water and all of that. They did not do Dancing Mad this time around, which I definitely miss. But yeah, so the second half is when they had the chorus out there. But there was a lot of good stuff there with the chorus, including Liberi Fatale from Final Fantasy VIII. They did Final Fantasy XI. I want to say the song is Ragnarok. Is that right, or is that from 14? I don't know a lot of names of songs to begin with, and then the stuff that I haven't played, like 11 and 14, I'm even less sure. They definitely played a Final Fantasy XI song. They definitely played a song named Ragnarok. I don't know if that's the same that song goes to that game. Sephiroth's theme, or yeah, oh yeah, that was the thing with One Winged Angel. Was funny to me. So the original set, the first set, when they showed 1 through 6, it was the pixel remasters on the screen. So it was funny because when it got to the games that I didn't know as well, I was like, what game is this? Because I was like, wait, we're showing pixel remasters. Now they kind of blend together even more than the NES games originally did. But then when they got to Final Fantasy VII, they didn't show remake stuff. They showed the original. They made a point of going back to the original cutscenes on that. So that was interesting. When they make those choices and when they don't. But they also showed like a ton of Advent Children, which to me, having not seen Advent Children, it was just funny that it's like, you're going to show all this Advent Children and you're not going to show one shot from Remake? It's wild. Because there's some good shots. There's some good Sephiroth shots for Remake. And Advent Children, when he's got like the short hair or whatever, that just seems a little weird. Just a little weird. But I haven't seen it. So it's a little more weird for me. Yeah. I know Advent Children is canon regardless, but yeah. But yeah, it was a good time. So thank you to Square Enix for that. Where did I get the neat shirt? Yeah, this Splatoon shirt, which I'm fairly certain is not available to purchase at this point. This was when we had Uniqlo as a sponsor. They had there was a guy that worked there in the marketing department who was a fan of Easy Allies and convinced them to become a sponsor for a little while. Back in the day before we had the Roost deal. And so yeah, we got some cool Uniqlo shirts. Basically, yeah, he basically like allowed us. He said, "All right, here's the pages of our things that we're promoting right now. Just pick what you want," and then he sent them to us along with some extras. It's holding up pretty well. There's a little bit of cracks in the paint, maybe, but not too bad. Mm-mm-mm. What else is happening? What else is happening? I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. Huber was there last week. I'm going this week because Huber's also like having to take care of his grandpa right now. Um, so I'll be doing that. Won't be able to say anything about what I'm doing for quite a few weeks. But yeah, a game that I did not want to skip on that preview. So we'll see that. Somehow I'll have to get the podcast together while I'm on the road. I don't know how I'll figure that out. So yeah, hopefully I can keep up on the news. Otherwise, we might just have a weird slapdash podcast this week because we also have to shoot more Achieve It Yourself episodes on Thursday. So I don't have time on Thursday either to put this podcast together. I was Team Gear on Splatfest this weekend, and it was funny because Gear was my like knee-jerk reaction to the question, which I think is a bad question. I don't know how they're gonna figure out questions that actually work for three-way, um, but it just felt like one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm making an assumption that going to a deserted island is a survival situation. Maybe you're going to a deserted island just to hang out, and grub and fun would make sense. Um, but otherwise, it's like, yeah, okay. Going to a deserted island. If you have gear, you can make stuff to have fun, and you can catch food. So bring the gear. But yeah, so I think that skewed the results by quite a bit because I think it's just like there's just an obvious knee-jerk reaction that a lot of people are going to have thinking through it logically. I was sort of on the like for when I actually went to sign up, I was sort of on the fence of like maybe I'll go fun, like maybe that'll be different, interpret the question a little differently, but uh, but then the colors got me. I saw that purple on gear and I'm like, you know what? Gear is my first reaction anyways. I'd like to be purple. Let's do it. So yeah. And then yeah, the tricolor turf war stuff. Hopefully they'll iron it out. I felt when I played it in the demo, a Brack, thank you. When I played in the demo, I felt like I got a lot of tricolor matches, and I felt like half the time I felt like it was a good balance of like when wins versus losses in my matches. I saw other people like Andre from Game Explain, I think, had a harder time with it, where they was like always losing. I'm like, I don't know. we won sometimes and we lost other times. But then when it came to this Splatfest, I was in tricolor just like all night long, and I was just not getting them. So I don't know. I don't understand the reasoning to having an option to get into tricolor matches and then not give people tricolor matches. It's like, if you want to play something else, then go in the other lobby. I don't know. As an attacker in the demo, tricolor felt like I was bullying the defending team. Yeah, the couple that I did get, I don't know. I felt like there were times where we had a hard time making any ground on the defenders. Because they were actually pretty well up in there. Marv, thank you for the sub. But yeah, so I think I don't know for sure how many tricolor matches I got in. I remember two for sure. I remember one that I lost and one that I won. So. Mm-mm. Defender side was almost always grossly overpowered in most matches, coupled with increased clout points from the battle itself. Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. What did my class fellows think of my name in elementary and high school? I mean, there are people that liked it, and there are people that, bullied me and make fun of me like anyone else. So, I don't know. Yeah, the different experiences people have are so interesting. A Brack defender got wrecked every time in his matches, so that's interesting. Trying to get through the campaign. It's so hard. It's so hard just to find time to play. Like Sunday, I thought I was gonna get back in there and just dig into it, and then um, Damiani needed some more hands on the play with us session, and then I had to get stuff ready for the Monday meeting, and I had Huber syndrome came up, which that's going to go up tomorrow morning this week. I spaced it out a little bit this week for the October games, and there's some other stuff too. And so by the time I got through everything, it's like, well, played a little bit more campaign, and then went to bed. Rolo 500, thank you. The best game I've never played. Probably just pick a Grand Theft Auto, because I don't have any interest in Grand Theft Auto, and I know that they are, excellent games. Just not particularly into doing a lot of that stuff for the setting or whatever. Noah the Nintendo nerd, thank you. But yeah, what else? So yeah, San Francisco tomorrow. Oh, I ordered a new capture card for in here. I need to order some other stuff. I need to get some more switchers. I might need to get some more longer HDMI cables. We've got a giant pile of cables here, but I need to see what the lengths are. But basically, getting a capture card that can handle 4 inputs at the same time. Because one of the things when we did our Sea of Thieves last week, people were asking why we didn't have everybody's screens up, and we're like, well, we don't have a way to put everyone's screens up, and we had there's a game earlier, I forget what it was. I went back and looked at it. I think Elden Ring. We did Elden Ring co-op earlier this year, and I think we had somehow rigged a way to get 3 into the PC, but then halfway through that stream, the PC crashed, and we just went back to one stream. So, yeah. So, and then there are other weird solutions. JD Man 94, thank you. There's some other weird solutions, like, yeah, Twitch did this thing for a while where people could split screen. Mixer had a thing where people could split screen. There's a service called Lightstream. But all of those options, they're basically taking different streamers, doing their own solo streams, and then merging them into a single feed, which is not going to work for in here. So that's why I had to check out capture cards that can do multiple inputs. And so I found a card that can do 4 inputs, and then each one just it just acts like another input, like another camera. So hopefully that will be a little bit easier, and the PC won't die. But like I said, I gotta get more splitters, which are not that expensive, and I gotta check on cable lengths to make sure that if we're going from over here, it can get all the way around to the PC. So we don't want to do 4 PCs, and that's another thing too. Is if we do a PC game, like when we do Dark Tide later this year, we're probably going to stream that from home because people want to play that on PC, not consoles. So, but we're looking at doing quite a few. We put our schedule together yesterday. We're looking at doing quite a few LAN streams this coming month. So hopefully everything will work, and we'll have that ready to go for those. I did order the laptop last night as well. I'm not gonna go into the specs and stuff because I don't need a bunch of like I showed it to the allies. I'm like, is this good? And everyone was like, thumbs up. So, but I don't need a lot of people giving their input on the laptop because I needed to find a balance, right? Because it's like, all right, I don't want this to be crazy expensive. I also don't want it to be crazy cutting edge because cutting edge has a higher chance of breaking. And I've had issues with my current laptop, as we know, my battery bloating all the time, which I think is just because it's too thin. I think Razer just made the thing actually too thin. Um, and it had like a 4K screen that's like 14 or 15 inches. It's just pointless. But anyways, so I think the laptop I'm getting is pretty good. I don't really need it to do a ton of stuff. I don't need to play games on it. I maybe could use it for stream in a pinch, but mostly just Photoshop, emails. Um, Maybe once in a while, like hopefully, it should be able to run Premiere, and I can do a quick edit if something on Twitch is giving me trouble. I need to clip things out or something. But yeah, no bloated batteries. That's the real one. Cause man, having to go back and get the battery fixed every year. We didn't even make it a year this time. So yeah. Uh, Ethernet port on there as well, which is helpful. But yeah, so that should come in the next couple of weeks, and then I go through the whole process of setting it up and transferring stuff over and figuring out what to do with um, the current laptop, which will probably just be a backup for like when we need to capture. Like if somebody needs to go on the road and capture, do that. I don't think it has a disk drive. Pretty sure it does not. It's an MSI. We'll say it's an MSI. But even that is like, get an MSI and then you start looking at like, there's so many freaking options. So many configurations. I have picked my grate. I have not done any kind of preparation. I'd probably just wing it. I usually just wing it. I'll put some bullet points down. But what's a disk drive? Yeah. I mean, someone who still likes to get CDs and then wants to get those CDs onto my PC, I do prefer having disk drives. I did see Isla's studio. I haven't seen it in person, but I saw the pictures. Yo, scam likely. Shut up. External? Nah, I'm not into I don't want more external crap. But for my PC, I got an internal. But yeah, that's the other thing. Like the laptop is more for when I come into the office, like when I do the podcast, and when I am away out of town on trips and stuff. Because when I go to Omaha, when I go to Florida, I'm basically, still working like half time, part time, something like that. Still doing a lot of stuff in terms of making thumbnails and archives and putting schedules together and all that stuff. Speaking of Splatoon, I'm trying to do a review RF Switch. I swear. I'm like Island 5 in the campaign. But yeah, it's been an uphill battle because it came out during Easy Chillin', and then that whole week was just a nightmare between trying to get all the Easy Chillin' archives put together and doing the Tokyo Game Show stuff and doing the podcasts. And so I didn't even really start until like the Monday or so after TGS. And then it's like, yeah, one of those things where like I get a couple hours a night after 10 or 11 p.m. Yeah, and it's not, and that's the thing, the spoiler mode, Splatoon's not like a spoiler mode kind of game. Like, I know there's some things that maybe you'd want to talk about, but not really for me. And the only other person I know that's putting time in is Brad. But I'm gonna try to still get a review done. The only multiplayer I played really was during Splatfest, and I haven't played the co-op at all yet. But yeah, there's not a lot going on in that story campaign. There's lore stuff to dig into. You pick up you pick up the sunken scrolls, but those things are so random to me. I don't understand what the significance of most of them are. But then yeah, you get other things that unlock as you go through the levels. But and then Tall Guy Alec, thanks. And then yeah, like another like impressions or discussion vid. That would have made more sense to me if I'd done that like right when it came out, but I didn't have the opening to do that right when it came out. So if I had done it like after a weekend. So I'm just gonna try to keep powering through and keep playing and get the review done when it gets done. Yeah, the alternate logs is like crazy stuff going on in that. Jeez. If I didn't get into games media, what would I be doing? Yeah, I mean, who knows? I was just doing general office work before at a homeless shelter. Um, and then obviously I've had a lot of live production stuff, been associated with a lot of music stuff. Could have potentially done some kind of marine biology or something if I had gone that route. Could have gone the radio route because I was in radio for a couple years. Could have gone the art route because I was actually accepted into Ringling, but I was not accepted into the animation program. Animation was too competitive. Didn't make that. So I ended up not going to Ringling. And that's kind of what set the course on me eventually coming to California. Who knows where I would be if I had actually gone to Ringling and gotten a degree in illustration or something. And then, oh yeah, and then the Art Institute was like begging me to come, and now I've heard so many horror stories about Art Institute. I'm like, glad I didn't do that. Dodged a bullet there. Oh, a lot of people seem to have gone to Art Institute and then walked out with a degree they couldn't do anything with. Andy Cortez? Did that happen to him? Tough to make a career in art. Yeah, no, it's true. I have a friend who is an animator, and Smartsky, thanks. And he had come up, right after the big Disney '90s push, and he was ready to go, and he had like talked with people that had worked on Tarzan and all that kind of stuff, and then just traditional animation, the bottom kind of dropped out, and after like Treasure Planet, right? That was like one of the last ones. And so he is, he's found other ways to use his talent. So he has like an animation school in India, giving those skills to people who otherwise would not have those opportunities. And so they have like all these scholarship programs and stuff like that. So, but yeah. And it's wild to me that he's in India now because it's like, dude had not gone like outside of Los Angeles when I knew him. Like he'd grown up in East LA and had been here all his life, hadn't really even gone to any other states. Then they moved to Hawaii, and then they went to India and started up that school. So it's wild. Let's think. What else? Oh, I do have a friend though. It's I'm pretty sure she's in animation. Yeah, on it's a Nickelodeon show called Casa Grandes. I saw it on like cable once and like watched it just because she works on it. But yeah, I think he went to like Art Center in Pasadena, which was like seemed like one of the places to be. And even when I was here, he was teaching people. He always loved to teach. So he always would have like workshops for people to come and do figure drawing and stuff like that, totally for free. It's Cool dude. And it's wild because when I lived with him, they were just having their baby, and I'm like, and now it's like, oh, she's grown up and married now. That baby, that roommate baby, is an adult. What else? What else? What else? Oh yeah, I was gonna see if we can assemble this Pac-Man thing. I showed it on one of my last hangouts. Let's get the table over here. But we hadn't unboxed it. Bar. This isn't gonna be like a full Gundam or anything. It's just a little toy box. Contrary to popular opinion, it's not easy to be an ally. Sort of true, sort of true. Alright, Pac-Man Worlds. What's this? See reverse side for a message from Pac-Man. Oh. Make sure this is safe to read. Yeah, I think this is fine. Hi there. I want to extend a warm Waka Waka welcome to the Pac fandom. Whether you first played Pac-Man in the arcades? True, I did. Well, I played the arcade Pac-Man. I played it in honky-tonk bars. But, yes, the arcades, quote-unquote. The original Pac-Man World 20th Anniversary in 1999. Or are just now picking up your first Pac-Man game. I hope you thoroughly enjoy Pac-Man World Repack and this limited edition Pac-Man Chogokin figure. Never lose your appetite for adventure. Your pal, Pac-Man. No, it says Waka Waka Welcome. And Waka is W-A-K-A. And then this is just embargo information, which is obviously passed. Okay. So this is the Chogokin figure. I'll zoom in on the sucker when we're done building it. Alright, so this, see. Oh, this is the base, got it. So the base, and then the ghosts are up in here too, which, how do we get them out? Oh, okay. Little ghosties. Yeah, we'll zoom in at the end. You always wonder, like, how they do these wrappers. Look, somebody manufactured. I'm sure that either they have people that do this and wrap these things up nice, or they have like very specific machines. Did I pre-order the God of War controller? No. I don't need that. No, it's a nice controller. I'm good on controllers for now. I got me a purple that my wife got me. The one thing that like really is like this weird back and forth thing, like I would never buy, are the faceplates, the PlayStation faceplates. And I swear they made the thing white just so people would like feel like they're forced to buy a freaking faceplate and a black controller. But yeah, I would not spend the money on a faceplate. Just put it that way. Okay, let's see. We got instructions here. Chrome Noir. Oh, these are all in Japanese. Okay. I'll be able to figure it out. Remember when the Xbox 360 faceplates were cooler? Yes, I actually have, well, I think it might be hand-painted, Alan Wake Xbox thing, faceplate, and I actually had it for years before I had ever even played Alan Wake, because it was just a cool design. I just really like it. I can read Nihongo, right? Not really. I can read katakana when they're basically just writing English words in Japanese characters. But I cannot actually. Oh, there's Pac-Man is teeny tiny. Like if this is to scale, it's like no wonder he's afraid of those ghosts. This sucker, this is metal. And I'm not saying that like figuratively. It's metal. It's heavy. You pick this thing up, it's heavy. And then, is it this? Oh my gosh. His eyes move. I'm not sure what that's about. And then, there it is, opened up. Not sure what the deal is with... Oh. Wait, it transforms. Into like a car thing? I'll have to figure that out later. That's weird. Alright, and then there's the gloves. Wait, that's the wrong side. And then these have like punching action. Can I? Oh yeah, there you go. All right. Oh yeah, and then we gotta actually. This thing with the eyes though, I'm not sure I understand it. Alright, and then Pac-Man himself goes in the cockpit here. Which is a little tricky. There's like spots for his feet, but it's like, you gotta get it right. Right in there. And same thing with this, there's like spots for his feet. Oh, that's weird. How do you... Like... It's odd because his feet don't seem to fit. Maybe I have to get them twisted just the right way. But that goes out the other way. Oh wait, it does go in closer. Okay. Still seems just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Nope. I get one side in, and the other side doesn't want to stay in. So it's kind of like almost, not quite. Oh, and then somehow I just got it. Okay, there we go. Oh, but it pops out so easy. I don't know if that matters. Anyways, and then, oh wait, the ghosts go on here too, though, don't they? Yeah, so somehow the feet are supposed to be in there, and the ghosts are supposed to be on there. Seems a bit crowded. Alright, there we go. Ghost 1. Sorry, I haven't even been looking at chat for a minute. In my own little world, figuring this thing out. We gotta figure out the transformation thing too. But, alright. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to... That's the other thing too, is the weight makes it hard to keep it open. But let me at least do that. Chad, I'll get back to you in a second. Let me get this zoom in over here. Alright. Zoom in, and then where's the focus? Where is the focus? John, where's the focus? You got me on your nose. Oh, did you show me the focus is on the camera? I'm missing it.
Oh. Yeah. Doing autofocus just when
I'm just like zooming in on this thing.
Alright, so it's these rings right
Oh,
here.
it's at the front, of course.
So you
Okay.
look at the viewfinder when the things get all sparkly. That's
There we
when
go.
it's in focus.
There it is, chat. Alright. Whee! The Pac-Man is like invisible there. he's in there. Promise he's in there. Did I just put it out of focus? There we go. There it is, closed up. Alright. Try to get this back to normal. Am I back in focus? Yeah, that looks good enough to me. Okay, sorry. I've been not looking at chat for a minute. Let's see. Are we going to display it something? Yeah, I'll put it up on the shelf or something. We'll put it somewhere. That Soul Hacker sign has been turned off this whole time, too. But yeah, they're getting ready to shoot Frame Trap here in a minute. So, I wonder if Studio Ghost ever tried chasing Pac-Man. Nice, nice. Okay, anything that I missed earlier, you can say now. I'm so... I got focused. Get focused. Oh, we gotta figure out how to transform it, too. I love the graphic where it's just like, shooting! How interested am I in PSVR? Oh, I'm very interested in PSVR 2. Yeah, absolutely. Which is why I was bummed that the PSVR games wouldn't be backwards compatible. Because I don't have a PSVR. And I might not get a PSVR 2 right away either, but, I borrow the one from the studio when I need it. Huber, hop in here.
What do you got here?
It's a little Pac-Man thing. It's like a
God.
Pac-Man Gundam. Look at this crap.
It looks villainous.
Right?
It reminds
so
me of
black.
like Robotnik, dude. Just like some Robotnik contraption.
And then check this out. It like actually has action, and you're like,
Dude. That is insane. It's really about us.
And then I was trying to figure out like the exact what this thing is supposed to look like when it transforms.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of looks like it doesn't make sense even when you transform when it's supposed to have it the way it's supposed to look, because it's like you change the feet around backwards.
Sick.
And then just have them flat, and then they're like now it's a car, but it's like it's just doing the splits.
Oh my god, it's amazing though. Giant tank. All right, chat. Spoiler mode time.
Oh, it's spoiler modes first. That's right.
Yes.
Nice. Cobra Kai. Have I ever played Wolfenstein Enemy Territory? No. But yeah, so hopefully, I don't know, I'm hoping that behind the scenes, Sony is working with as many VR developers to get their games on the new platform as possible, and I'm hoping that as many of those games come with, like, free to cheap upgrade paths as possible as well. Because, man, if you spent money on PlayStation VR, I think that like somewhat expected that you'd want to also see your games on the new platform and check them out. See what the differences are. I mean, that's also like a nice way of like seeing improvements, right? Like you know, even though they clearly like on technical, like I understand the technical differences between PlayStation VR and PlayStation VR 2 requires some work, I'm sure. But that's the thing. It's like if you played your game in PlayStation VR and then you got PlayStation VR 2 and you see just how much better it is. Like to me, that's a way to sell that system. So for people that have spent hundreds of dollars on PSVR games, then you know, it's like, oh, I can do, I can play all my games on PSVR 2 and it's going to be all better and I'll play them all over again. That kind of thing. Yeah. And then we'll see in terms of, pricing. They haven't announced pricing yet. And simplicity. I think that's the thing with like PSVR. It's like it's such a like I have to pull out the instruction sheet every time to figure out like okay. And I'm glad things have like numbered labels on all the cables and all the different parts and stuff like that. So if you just plug the PSVR 2 into the PlayStation 5 and it works, excellent. Yeah, this thing too with like PC VR, it's like, oh man, I've got to have this thing set up, and I've got to. I had to buy some different kind of cable or something. I remember I had to buy a different video cable to play Half-Life Alyx. Something I didn't have that it needed. So yeah. PSVR 2 is simpler to use, that would be great. Oh, and it has the see-through thing too, right? That's a nice perk too. Being able to flip in and see your surroundings. Half-Life Alyx on PSVR 2, will it happen? I think it would be smart. And Valve is not a stranger to consoles, so... Splendiferous Walnut, thank you. I think that's a much smarter play, because it's not on Quest, right? I can see them not wanting to put it on Quest, but I think PSVR would be really good. For sure. Hoping Moss gets a PSVR 2 patch. Yeah, I think Moss is almost guaranteed. They have a lot of passion in that game. They have a lot of passion in putting that game out on every platform that they can. So I think we will see Moss on PSVR 2 in some form very shortly after that comes out, if not at launch. PSVR 2 is a single Type-C cable to hook up, not something proprietary. That's always good. Yeah, having to get the adapter for the PlayStation 5. Oh, you can play Alyx on the Quest via cable or Airlink and run it off the PC. Right, because they did start doing the Airlink thing. Okay. But it's not on Quest. You can't play it Quest natively. That's what I meant. But yeah. But it's nice that it supports Quest. Well, no, it's Quest 2 is the one that I was thinking. Yeah. Yeah, Alyx needs a PC at least to run that beast. It's funny too to see people that are really like, they should put out a version of Alyx that's not in VR, and I'm like, that's a different game. It's a different game that will not be as effective at all. Like I don't know what that like it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. Sorry to everyone that does not want to play it in VR. It just would not make sense. Right. We got a lot coming up today. As I said, they're shooting that spoiler mode. They're shooting Frame Trap. We're shooting some previews. We got Hall of Greats tonight. I'm going to San Francisco tomorrow. It's a lot. It's a lot. Shooting more Achieve It Yourself episodes this Thursday, which I think will then put us into having the season shot. So then once those start getting cut, we can start figuring out when they will go up. So that's fun. Which game character would I consider to be waifu material? I don't know. I'm not going into that. That's not my thing. You know better. Still waiting on classic controller support for Wii Sports. What a dig. What a dig. Will any of us be going to Kinda Funny Studio opening in October? It'd be fun to attend. It's just not something we could fly up for. And I wouldn't ask them to fly us up there either. They've got enough going on. So, yeah, we'd have to see if the opportunity presents itself. But it's we do not have the funds for bonus flights for things like that, unfortunately. Any thoughts on E3 details? Good start. Good start. The execution, I don't know if there's anything else that they can say at this point that would make me more confident. It really will come down to the execution of those details. Having a separate business area, having separate business days, which is something we begged E3 for like 2 decades. Because they had him before, but just very, very limited. Well, I guess I should clarify because it's before public, it was all industry, but there was a period when they were just like a couple of hours that were like press only, but like press only and industry only are very different because industry only, again, most of E3 has been industry only until just the past few years, but industry itself was a pretty big crowd, so it was nice when there was just like press space. And there weren't even industry people there. But obviously that's probably not going to be the way it goes down. But still, industry only will be a big deal. The one thing I'm nervous about will be with the new group of people handling registrations and all of that fun stuff. It's just getting that seat at the table. It's like, will my 18 years of E3s, I don't remember how many years it's been. 18 sounds about right. Yeah. Will that have helped me at all into getting a registration this year? Will we be able to get registrations for 6 people? I don't know. So, I was having good conversations with the people that were handling E3 last time around, and then E3 didn't happen. So, I don't know. Do we still talk to Ben? If so, how he's doing? I talked to him a few weeks back. I've been meaning to call him back again and check in and see how he's doing. So I haven't talked to him recently, but you know, I talked to him after they got to Iowa, and just kind of got the story of the chaotic move. But yeah, I don't know the past couple of weeks what all's been going on. So I need to check in with Ben again for sure. It's totally one of those things where it's like he's not in the Discord, he's not on social media, so it's basically text Ben and give him a call, and that's how I talk to him. So, but yeah, cross country move, 2 cars, 2 cats. It was a lot. It was a lot. But yeah, off the grid for sure. Yeah, like I don't know if he's working, what he's looking for work, what he wants to do, if he's writing a book like Brandon. Would like to know the answer to those questions myself. So yeah, definitely want to get a hold of Ben again sometime soon. He's starting a farm now. I don't think so, but it's not impossible. Was it Beating Down Brian? Got a farm. A couple other people in the community got some farms. The cat's helping him move. You should put him to work. Yeah. Oh. Can I start a book writing club with just Jones and Ben? That's up to Jones and Ben. Really. I can't answer that question. I just can't. I've done an international move. Looking forward to doing that again. Yeah, I would not want to. But I live in Iowa. Has been around Des Moines. I'm not gonna give any of Ben's info out there. I'm not exactly sure where he is personally. Anyway, so like, I could make a guess, but I can't confidently answer that. So cool. Like I said, we've got more stuff coming up later today. EasyAllies.com always has that schedule in your local time. I try to keep that up to date as much as I can. And we will be back for Hall of Greats later tonight. If there's nothing else in between. There's a lot of things shooting in between, but I think that's the next live thing. So, alright. And then Huber Syndrome tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you soon.